Welcome to No Table Manners podcast, episode 3, How to Be a Great Part of Support Staff. I'm Tabby, and I'll be taking care of you today. This is
KJ.
KJ. What's up, KJ? And he will be helping me explain how to be a great part of support staff. Welcome to my podcast.
Thank you.
How are you today?
I'm pretty good. Pretty good. What about you?
Oh, I am awesome all the time. Personal choice. Thank you very much for asking. Well, as we've covered in my very first episode, server jargon, support staff is any part of the staff that is not in direct communication per se with the guest, but they will be supporting the guest and mostly the staff in doing what they need to do. So, for example, an expo, a food runner, a busser, a dishwasher, because obviously all of those things go hand in hand and they are not directly the server or the manager or the chef. So introduce yourself and where you're from.
My name is Keith, but I go by KJ.
Hold on. Thank you. Go ahead.
My name is Keith. I go by KJ. I come from Chi-Town, Chicago, big Chicago. I've been all over the Midwest. I'm 17 currently, soon to be 18. My hobbies include a plethora of things. Working out, gaming. I like going places. I like outside.
Okay, going places outside. Perfect. You need that?
You need that?
Do you need that?
You need that?
Okay. And then what do you do in the restaurant?
Running food, making sure that the customers feel welcome, stocking up, preparing our stations, testing the food before we send it out.
And that's just kind of looking for specifications. Like if someone says no onions, make sure there are no onions on there. If there's an allergy, making sure the sauce or anything that contains that allergy is not present. And yeah, I mean, yeah, how important is the job that you perform in the daily success of the restaurant?
I found it pretty important. I mean, people aren't really going to get served their food without us, so I'd say that it's pretty important. Making sure that it is right the first time instead of having to go multiple times with their food for whenever we get it wrong. I feel like that's pretty beneficial to what we're trying to do, which is make sure that the food gets to the people quick and easy.
And correctly. And I would just say it's very important. People need clean tables so that they can dine, and they also, and servers need to get their food from the kitchen to the guests, right?
Right.
In some restaurants, they don't have expos, they don't have bussers, they don't have support staff, bar back. You know, they have to do everything themselves, and it's a lot of work. We work in fine dining, and it's just a necessary part of the flow of the restaurant. Can you tell us about baristaing? You are an expo, but you do barista. It's funny that I'm saying barista. You're a guy, but the male term for barista is not barista. So,
Yeah. Exactly. We're not sexist, we swear. Preparing coffee and making sure that we send it out, whether it be French press, espresso, anything. We have plenty of coffees to choose from. We also have the option of decaf if people want it. So,
Right. So you can make, cappuccino, lattes, London Bridge, which is actually a tea.
yeah.
Which before I ever brewed that, I had no idea there were so many different types of coffees, and sometimes places like will kind of make you intimidated trying to order coffee with their, plethora of options. Some people just want a coffee. You know what I mean? Prison, black coffee. When people order black coffee, I'm always like, how long did you serve in prison? Because you're free.
Yeah,
You don't have to do that to yourself. This is your first job.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, most people, do not get their first job in fine dining. So
yeah, I feel pretty lucky.
Oh. Just gonna wait for that to finish. Okay. We'll
Yeah, I
try
feel
that one
pretty lucky.
again. This is your first job. Most people do not get their first job, especially first restaurant job in fine dining.
Yeah, so I feel pretty lucky.
How goes it?
Pretty good, honestly. I like the staff there. They feel like some people I could really go out and hang with and eat with and all of that. Super cool people. Pretty funny people, and they're kind of what makes the job lively when we work.
Absolutely. I am a firm believer in staff being cool and knowing that I can flow with people or go with people. Sometimes it's tough to do that. Sometimes you don't like the people you work with, and I feel sorry for you because our staff is lit. And then, you went from not having a job to obviously working the first job. So what does that feel like?
It is definitely a way to. It takes discipline. It definitely works as a way to kind of send yourself out there and not kind of like just coop yourself up somewhere. You're able to talk, you're able to actually like speak with people and everything. And I feel like it's been a pretty awesome experience as far as from what I have been through in the working establishment. Managers, chefs, everybody, kind of just like one big old family. So we help each other, we ride for each other, and everything.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Talking about that discipline, how do you stay disciplined in moments of intensity?
I would consider what consequences go behind whatever I'm about to do or say in order to stop myself from doing or saying that thing if I feel the consequence will be dire. And even not, it could grow into something dire depending on the circumstance. So considering your options and considering what'll happen if you do or don't do this or do or don't say that can definitely help you in the long run. It helps me a lot. So
amazing. And I'll just add to that, it's just a moment. It's just a moment. It'll be over. Not saying that you have to take any insanely disrespectful thing or any outrageously diabolical. Like I would never suggest that anyone in any job, anywhere, take some, some of it you can let, some things you can let just roll off your back. But just, realizing that, what my reaction has consequences, and that's in literally any situation. That's a life situation, not just a work situation. How do you go over and beyond for your guests?
making them feel extremely welcome, interacting with them, speaking with them, making jokes with them, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That can help give them a first impression of you as a person and probably make them come back. I know that my first impression on a few people have been positive, or all of my first impressions on anybody I met were positive, and they were positive enough for them to want to come back or leave a good review or leave a tip, something like that.
Amazing. Yeah, and just providing a welcome experience. That was actually a great, solid, lovely answer. Making a guest feel welcome, Hey, just like inviting somebody into your home, Also, how to be a great support staff. Anticipation, right? Getting someone something before they even have to ask, refilling that water, replacing that piece of silverware, bringing a steak knife if somebody ordered steak, bringing ketchup if someone ordered fries. That's very important. Your personality, support staff, remember when you first started working and I was telling you to work on your smile, service with a smile. I feel like that's another way to go over and beyond, because hospitality has lost the art of smiling, in my opinion, and it's just necessary. Also, a sense of urgency is a great part of being a support staff. Is it okay to talk about this? So when KJ first started, I repeatedly, not like a lot, but first few shifts, you got to work on that sense of urgency. You got to work on that sense of urgency. What instance or what thought process helped you to gain a better sense of urgency for your guests?
Me putting myself in their spot and asking myself, how would I feel if it took a lot longer than it would have to get my food delivered to me?
Oh, yeah.
Or how would I feel if I seen a waiter or an expo running the food to me in a very, very slow manner when I'm given an estimate of time and they're a lot slower than what's expected?
Absolutely. And now that you work in restaurants, you have a guest, you never know who might be waiting, an expo, a chef, or anyone. So it's very important. We dine out a lot, people are flabbergasted or taken aback by my children's manners or their pleases, their thank yous, their yes ma'am, no sirs. And I'm very blessed to have an insider, account of how much more that matters to me than, the flashiness or knowing that you own a multi-billion-dollar company. Like, we like respect just as much as the next person. And a sense of urgency ties into respect. Hey, I want to get this guest the best food of the best quality at the best temperature, with the best kind of attitude behind it, and invite them ultimately back to the best experience that they're ever going to have, because I'm lit. So what are your current passions outside of serving? I mean, of the restaurant, excuse me.
Boxing. I fell in love with that. Been doing it for about 3 years. So, yeah, I like boxing a lot.
And what else?
I like gaming. I like a lot of things, honestly. I got pretty good at a lot of things. Editing is one of them.
Me too. I like everything.
Yeah.
You don't have to box yourself into any, little box or main, whatever. You can
It'd be better for you if you were a jack of all trades.
Absolutely. And then, yeah, what more would you like from the restaurant industry? If you would say anything, what more would you like?
A promotion.
More money, basically is what you're saying.
Pretty much.
Well, I mean, it's your first job, buddy. For those of you who don't know, Keith is my son. I made that. But yeah, with more knowledge comes more money. With more, the more you put your hours in, your 10,000 hours that it takes to master any art, the better you will be at it. And I do see you going, far places in the food industry with your boxing and your, physique. I see you going wherever your heart desires. And I think we'll just wrap on up on that accord. Again, this is KJ, my 17-year-old son who's working in fine dining for the first time. That's so funny. And I am Tabby, and I took care of you today. And thank you for coming to No Table Manners Podcast, episode 3. Perfect.